Hey guys, we're going to talk about a camera, the EOS Canon T5i, and it's a Rebel. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You hit that notification icon to get a notification of my videos as soon as they're released. That way you don't miss any of them. Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about cameras today. I just want to get out of the way. I want to thank the person that sent the Canon Ti5 to me. Whoever you are, I really appreciate it. This is something that I'm going to keep. This is not going to be given away. I'm going to keep this camera. I love it. Those of you that already know, I already have I have my old Panasonic G7, which I've been doing most of my videoing with. I'm probably going to switch to the Canon Ti5. It is a EOS Rebel Ti5. The reason I'm going to switch to that is because I have an old Rebel in my cupboard that took 35mm film that actually had lenses. I had a couple extra lenses for, and since this is an EF mount, and so was that other one, those lenses will work great on this. And anyways, I just really appreciate it. It's an awesome gesture, and it is going to be put to good use. You can bet I will enjoy it. Back to the camera. It is a Canon EOS Rebel T5i. I was actually looking at a used T6 about a year ago. I really wanted it. I just couldn't afford it. Now the Ti5 doesn't have the capabilities that the T6i had. 1080p at 60 frames per second. So on and so forth. This only shoots 1080p 30 frames per second, but I don't need 4K. Now my Lumix, it shoots 4K 30 frames per second, and this is a non-crop. Of course, it is a 2/3 sensor, or a micro-third sensor, and you're going to get a crop effect anyways. But again, this shoots beautiful video outdoor and even indoors, outdoors and indoors. It just doesn't have the color that this has. Now this, I had a 14-42mm kit lens that came with it, and I also had a 25mm lens that I got separate when Amazon was having a flash sale on them for like 40 bucks, and it has a really low f-stop. 1.7 is where it starts, so you get that real deep blur in your background. So I love that for that. So this is kind of like going to be like my b-roll camera yet, and I'm probably still going to take some videos with this, but again, I'm definitely going to be switching to the Canon as my main camera just because I love the color on it. This camera came with the Canon Zoom Lens, the EF-S mount, 55 to 200mm, 1.4 to 5.6. That the focal, or no, that's the f-stop. No, that's the focal line, 1.4 to 5.6. F-stop, I think, starts at around 4.7. I think, again, guys, I'm not a pro. I'm not a photographer. A lot of this stuff confuses the hell out of me, but I'm learning. I do know that it has a 58mm outside diameter where the cap goes, so if I need to get any filters or anything like the ND filters I got for my Lumix, it's a 47mm. It won't fit that. 42, I don't know. I'd have to look. That may be something I'll look into. But so far, the video I've taken outside, I've taken at low ISOs, taken video with, at like 100 ISO and 200 ISO, and it doesn't seem to get too bright as long as I keep the other settings where they need to be. So I don't know. I'm probably going to get one anyways, but I did want to talk about the camera a little more. It does not have as many functions, functions that you can get in there and mess around with as my Lumix had. Actually, quite a few less. There's basically, in video mode, you can pick your video quality, 1080p 30 or 1080p 24. That's it. You can go 720p too. I think 720p in I think it's 120. It might only be 60 frames, but You know, again, I don't shoot 720p. This is not going to be a camera I do any slow motion video with. If I need any slow mo, I'll use my Lumix, or I'll use my GoPro. What else? Oh, something else. Something I noticed about the STM lens that came with this. It has a white dot. It doesn't have a red dot on it. You know how, like, the most cameras have this dot where you line up whenever you go to, you know, put on or take off a lens. You line up the little red dot, or some cameras, I think they're black. Well, the Canon has two dots on it. It has a red dot and it has a white dot. The red dot sits at, I think it's like 12 o'clock. The white dot sits at about 2 o'clock position when you're looking at the camera from the front. So the STM mounts, you have to make sure that you mount them on the white dot, because that's what that has a lineup for. So that's how that works. It works great. I'm going to tell you what, my son had the camera, and he does not know how to use a camera at all, not a DLSR. He just uses his, you know, cell phone. He's of the new age, like most of you guys out there are. You're just used to picking up your cell phone and snapping a picture, and that's what he was used to. And well, he picked this up today, and he had this this lens on it, and he was capturing brilliant shots with it. And you know, and I've already obviously had the settings set up. I think I was at like ISO 200. It's really cloudy outside, and I had my white balance already set up and stuff. So basically, I just handed him the camera and said, push the shutter down halfway until you hear it beep, and then continue. If you see a little green flash on the inside, you know your picture took. That you had the right focus, and that's what you have to worry about with this camera. If it doesn't focus, it will not take the picture. Unless, of course, you change the settings and you force it to take the picture without the focus, and you can do that. But, you know, and again, him being a super novice took some brilliant pictures, and we were taking him inside the truck where it was really dark, and some of those pictures just come out like he'd done it for years, and it was just perfect. You know, just positioned, you know, in the rule of thirds just right, and the color was right, and you know, it was like one of those dark scenes, you know, but it looked just so good. Anyways, and that's it. I just wanted to talk about the Canon EOS Rebel T5i. I wanted to thank again the person out there, he or she, who sent it to me. I don't know how you got my address, but you did, and I appreciate it. I am going to keep the camera. I'm not going to give it away. Maybe I'll give away my one of my cheap, like that cheap action camera I have. It's not cheap. I mean, it's, you know, 60 bucks. I might give that away or something, but I'm keeping this. This is going to be a workhorse on this channel. So, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. In the future, I'm going to try to do a more in-depth video on this camera. Using my Lumix as the main camera, so you guys can see all the settings and stuff in here. But right now, I just wanted you to see the video, the color reproduction on it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I want to thank all my subscribers, and I will see you guys on the next video.